It's the movement in the hips, hands, and feet. It's the purpose of rhythmic expression matched to music. Some folks may even consider it an energy boost. I'm speaking of dancing. Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I am your host, Audrey Williams. It is International Dance Day. Time to get your body in the groove. We have a lot to share with you, including ways you can grow what you eat and learning how technology has improved our education system. So sit back, relax, and don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss this.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
I only way for celebrating it. They say the people them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, no, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal panta fight, you know.
Medal.
Amount of tongue we give them, you know.
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
I forgot to download the app to get the updates then.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, April 29, 2022. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is warning Jamaicans to expect further increases in COVID-19 cases over the coming weeks, with the highly transmissible BA2 variant being the dominant strain in circulation. However, Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says this is not cause for panic, as hospitalization and deaths remain flat and are not expected to see any significant increases. Still, he says unvaccinated persons remain most at risk.
These numbers, as I said earlier, while not alarming, are nonetheless a reason for some caution. This is the positivity rate. They remind all of us to continue to practice as far as possible infection prevention and control measures, frequent hand washing, physical distancing, mask wearing, and staying home if you are ill.
Dr. Tufton was speaking at his ministry's COVID Conversations digital press conference yesterday. He says the ministry will continue to track developments even while COVID restrictions have been relaxed. Jamaica's 7-day positivity rate now averages at 8.6%. On Wednesday, 115 new infections were recorded and one confirmed COVID-related death. Minister Tufton says the data shows that 97.8% of the COVID-19 deaths were unvaccinated persons. The private sector arm of the World Bank Group, the International Finance Corporation, IFC, has agreed to support the government of Jamaica in the development of 3 key road segments on the North Coast Corridor. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark recently signed a memorandum of understanding with the IFC in Washington, D.C. The IFC will provide advisory services for the project, which covers the proposed widening of 60 kilometers of the highway from Sea Castles in St. James to Mami Bay in St. Anne. It could cost between 93 billion and 120 billion Jamaican dollars. The finance minister says Jamaica's North Coast road infrastructure is inadequate to sustain anticipated future economic activity, and as such, the government is intent on pursuing a transparent process to attract large investors who have the capital and ability to undertake this project. Under the agreement, the IFC will help the Jamaican government design and implement a public-private partnership transaction to identify and select a private sector participant to undertake the project. Investors will be expected to finance, build, and operate the road segments, which are divided in 3 parts: Sea Castles to Greenwood, Greenwood to Discovery Bay, and Salem to Mami Bay. The Toll Authority of Jamaica is moving to gain legislative authority to fine pedestrians who trespass on toll roads and to penalize motorists for tailgating. Transport and Mining Minister Audley Shaw made the announcement during his contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament this week. He says the authority is also aiming to regulate advertisements on the toll roads and to make it mandatory for future concessionaires to pay toll monitoring fees to the authority.
The authority is further seeking empowerment to apply monetary sanctions on toll operators for non-compliance in the remedying of any defects, damages to the toll road infrastructure.
Concerns regarding pedestrians using the toll roads comes against the death of a pedestrian in a motor vehicle crash along the toll road near Linstead in late January. It's also reported that tailgating motorists have sometimes cheated the money collectors by beating the retractable barrier. Aircraft using the Norman Manley International Airport NMIA will have access to a rehabilitated and improved runway by September. Transport Minister Audley Shaw says the pavement improvements and rehabilitation of the runway will begin in June. The work is to be done at a cost of $4.5 million by PAC Kingston Airports Limited, PACAL, which operates the NMIA.
PACAL, the operators of the Kingston Norman Manley Airport, they are in the process of implementing several projects.
Among the other NMIA projects underway, PACAL is implementing a 5-megawatt solar power system, which will cost $7.8 million and provide 75% of the airport's energy requirement. Minister Shaw says the first 2 megawatts will cost $2.8 million and is set for completion next month. The remaining 3 megawatts will be completed by December 2022 at a cost of $5 million. In other news, Conch exporters can breathe a sigh of relief this season as there is no increase to the levy applied on each pound of exported conch. On Tuesday, the House of Representatives passed the Conch Export Levy, Rate of Levy Order 2022, to keep the rate at US 50 cents per pound. The resolution was brought to the House by Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Pernell Charles Jr.
That levy had remained unchanged since 2018 conch season. This was largely due to the negative economic fallout in the fisheries sector flowing from the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as loss of earnings on the part of the industrial fishers, which resulted from the closure of the conch fishing season for an extended period, and we'll note that it was reopened last year in 2021.
Minister Charles Jr. says the funds collected from the levy will now go to the division of the Ministry of Agriculture that is responsible for animal health. And finally, Jamaica's 60 activities in London have been officially launched, highlighting the island's culture and heritage. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Grange and Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett were on hand to kick off the activities.
It's going to be 1 year of celebration, 60 years, and we're going to spread the joy throughout the year and celebrate.
The Culture Minister says Jamaica 60 provides us with an opportunity to unleash even more forcefully the power and prowess of the Jamaican diaspora. She says that during the celebrations, recognition will be given to those who continue to bring fame to the country and transformation to the world.
Let's all strike out with confidence, our athletes, our scientists, our teachers. We're going to strike out with them, our policemen, our doctors, our nurses, and continue to marvel the world with our world-conquering achievements.
Many of the Jamaica 60 activities in the UK have been planned to coincide with the staging of the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England, at which Jamaican athletes will be among the main attractions. The global celebration of Jamaica 60 is being held under the theme Reigniting a Nation for Greatness. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Food is essential in sustaining the human body and preserving our society. Let's learn how you can use your own space, whether it's your backyard, rooftop, or any other surrounding area to grow what you eat.
Urban gardening is the cultivation of vegetables, fruits, aromatic plants, and herbs in an enclosed space or your backyard. It's an ideal way for those with little space to participate in the process of food production, saving money while feeding themselves. Practical application is one of the best methods of imparting new knowledge. The Jamaica 4-H clubs ran with that concept when it set up an urban garden display project at 123 Duke Street in downtown Kingston.
This project was born out of the COVID pandemic, where we recognize that food production has to become everybody's business. Traditionally, most of our food in Jamaica is cultivated in rural areas. We believe that even if you are in a dormitory community without land space, we believe that there's still an opportunity for you to produce. In this urban model, you would realize that we are demonstrating how you can do air planting, how you can do planting on your fence line, how you can produce food in different medium. And so we are utilizing a fully integrated approach from collecting your own water by generating your own nutrient within the urban garden model setting to be able to produce the food that you will eat.
There are a few vital things that plants need to grow. These include sunlight, proper temperature, moisture, air, and nutrients.
One of the basic pieces of technology inside our urban model garden is to demonstrate rainwater harvesting. From your roof, you're collecting your water, not only your roof, but just anywhere there's a runoff, because it could be a runoff underground. And what you want to do is to be able to have some storage capacity.
In the 4-H urban garden, the water is stored underground to ensure there is more available space on the surface. Of course, your environment will determine the most effective setup for your system.
One of the good things about Jamaica, other than when we have night, we always have sunlight. There are some plants that requires a lot more lighting than others. And so one of the things we demonstrate or we share with urban gardeners is where you put what. So there are some plants that you can do indoors. There are some plants that will strive and do better if they were to be grown outdoor, whether you're using container, you're using your fencing, you're using backyard, front yard, or your rooftop. Another feature that is demonstrated here is composting. To my right is our composting area, and we have a roto-composting bin, as well as we have a regular bin. And in fact, just about all the vegetative matter and the waste from the birds and the animals across there are in fact all placed into our composters, and that is broken down to provide organic matter. Because again, your soil needs that for aeration, it needs it to add humus, and that's what is going to allow your plants to grow well.
And all this can be done in your own space. Livestock is another avenue you can choose in your urban gardening. Rabbit rearing is an excellent source of protein, and it doesn't require much space. You can also use the plants in the garden to feed them. Other animals can be included, such as chicken and fish.
We do a lot of different birds here. You can do your ornamental fish, you can do your tilapia, and you can also do your domestic hens. Because that's something we are also promoting, is to get back to those domestic hens for eggs and meat. There are many things you can do in terms of livestock. It's almost as diverse as you're going for crops.
To replicate this model in your urban space, speak with your Jamaica 4-H Club's parish officer. You can receive seeds and other planting material to get you started.
One of the biggest threats right now in the world is not war or COVID, is really to have a sustainable supply of food. And the view is that no longer can we only rely on the traditional food producer. I think food production has to become everybody's business. And I think the extent to which we are able to get all our people to produce some of what you will consume, I think is one of the greatest steps we can take in looking at the phenomenon of food sustainability.
A strategy the Jamaica 4-H Society has started to aid in maintaining sustainable food within communities. And if you haven't begun the process in your space yet, you can start now.
With technology playing an integral part in modern life, the Jamaican government has integrated it into the classroom to revolutionize how teachers and students access information. The end goal? An improved learning experience.
In the midst of a global technological revolution, the fourth industrial revolution, that is transforming the way we access information, communicate, learn, and even play.
The COVID-19 pandemic quickly demonstrated why the need to integrate technology in education is a vital part of teaching and learning. But this should not be done exclusively as a crisis management tool, because technology is now an indispensable part of modern life. The Jamaican government understands and is moving in alignment with that idea.
Technology will remain a permanent part of the education system. We will still have all the technology that you are used to in the virtual space. It will still be available.
The World Economic Forum, in its Future of Jobs report, estimated that by 2025, 85 million jobs may be displaced by technology. However, the report also estimates that 97 million new jobs will emerge that are more adapted to the new division of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms.
Technology is the future, and the future is digital. It simply means that using technology in the classroom will help to prepare our children to become more competitive applicants for future job markets. By incorporating devices such as interactive smartboards, using smart computer labs or apps such as Google Classroom into the daily teaching and learning environment, students are better prepared for the digital marketplace.
While we work to address the learning loss from the pandemic, we are concurrently embarking on a systemic transformation of our education system to address three fundamental issues. The first is the quality of education and alignment with future job markets.
The walls of the classrooms are no longer barriers to collaborative work, as technology is facilitating new ways of communicating and working together. Where interaction was once limited to those in physical proximity, now technology is facilitating students in one class being able to easily share information with teachers and their peers in other locations near and far. Even for work outside class, students can collaborate on group projects using technology-based tools and applications, allowing for easier peer interaction and engagement.
We are in the era of artificial intelligence, virtual and augmented reality. This revolution is transforming the way children and young people access information.
It's now easy for students and teachers to access a vast amount of information, from books to research papers to videos, available through just a click on the internet. Opportunities too for formal learning are available online, giving people the chance to participate in and complete traditional degree programs at institutions even in other countries. With the ease at which people can now access education, it therefore means that learning too can be accelerated and students can explore new subjects and deepen their understanding of difficult concepts. With the global reach of the internet, a new epoch of anytime, anywhere is emerging for the education field. The use of technology in education could very well mean that learning no longer has to be confined to regular firm school hours. Simply put, engage in your lessons at times most convenient to you. The education sector, like many others, has become deeply intertwined with technology. But the promise of greater development rests in what educators, students, and even technological developers do to support learning and teaching needs. Well, for us here in Jamaica,
This government is transforming our education system and sowing seeds for peace, opportunity, and prosperity.
It's in the way we walk, the way we move, it's the rhythm of dance. In celebration of International Dance Day, let's look at one of our own unique creations, a Jamaican traditional folk form that is African and European derived.
There's no one way to truly play the beat of our Jamaican culture. No one way to unfold the depth of the various movements that are intricately intertwined with the drums, or whatever uniquely made instruments that accompany each other. And certainly, no one way to shake our hips, tap our feet, move our hands or dress to distinguish the truest form of our heritage in dance. But there are certainly several ways to tell the island's tale of musical artistry and infectious rhythms. Today, we tell the story of the African retention in one of our Jamaican traditional folk forms, Tambu.
Among Jamaica's more than 10 traditional folk forms, most are heavily influenced by our African heritage and retention. In today's feature, we zoom in on one of them, Tambu.
Me say me tambo, me tambo, me tambo, eh. Tambo aya. Tambo, 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 eh. Tambo aya. Me say me tambo, me tambo, me tambo, eh. Tambo aya.
To witness the underlying beat of this treasure, we journeyed to the award-winning William Knibb High School in Trelawney, which has mastered the presentation of this art form.
Bear me head, but bear me foot and a cool shady. Bear me head, but bear me foot and a cool shady.
So welcome to the Tambu Parish, which is Trelawney. This dance was originated in Wakefield. It basically practiced. Well, we do the Tambu dance now for entertainment purposes or for the JCDC Inter-Performing Arts, where we try to showcase the Tambu dance. You know, it is a cultural dance and we want to maintain our cultural heritage.
Tambu is a lively and flirtatious dance derived from the French word tambour, meaning drums. Its lineage is also traced to the word tumba, which has been reported by the Congo people. Tambu is closely related to music and dance practices in the wider West Indies and the Virgin Islands. The dance shares movements similar to those of the Bele of Martinique and Guadeloupe and can be compared to the Bambula, which was danced in the 19th century in Louisiana. Today, Tambu is considered one of the many death observances of Jamaica.
Mariah lose her baby. Say kapisa tambo, Mariah lose her baby.
In Tambu, you will observe couples advancing and retreating. They also often progress with a shuffle step, with the feet flat on the ground.
In terms of the movement now, the Tambu have basic movement. We have what we call the cheche, marumba, right? Now you have the shake or the stallion. So this is one, right? You have the marumba, right? And some what's called the shake or the stallion. So you see the men, the ladies will do the twirl with their arms, and you'll find the males.
Like most of our African retention folk forms, there are a number of musical instruments that accompany the singing of the dancers. At the moment, you are witnessing the beating of the tambu drum and the catastics. The catastics play a steady pattern that does not change and leads the drummers to give more drive to the dance.
With the tambu, as you notice with the videos, each time the movement change, and the movement changes with the beating of the drum. So the drum actually tells the dancers which movement they are to do as it relates to the dance.
The number of performers in Tambu range from 12 to 16 dancers, both male and female. And like all the other African retention folk forms, there is a specific dress code for both genders.
The general attire for the African retention dances. For the ladies, they dress loose dress with peasant top or skirt and peasant top blouse. And for the male, it's supposed to be tailored pants and like a dashiki shirt.
Today, Tambu is mostly practiced in its home parish, Trelawney. But it is also currently performed as part of the annual JCDC Festival of the Performing Arts Competition. Whether it is practiced, one will clearly see that Tambu has its own unique flavor, a necessary ingredient in the multifaceted melting pot of our heritage. It is a Jamaican traditional folk form.
Go, gentlemen, go! 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 Dear lady! Dear lady! Dear lady! Dear lady!
One way to get in good shape and health is through dancing. International Dance Day marks the anniversary of the birth of Jean-Georges Nevers, creator of modern ballet. More than that, it celebrates how dance impacts our lives and acts as a wake-up call to governments and politicians that might be reluctant to recognize its value. In Jamaica, dance is woven into almost everything we do, even the way we walk. Our traditional folk forms like Brookings, Boro, Kumina and Jonkunu are important parts of how we celebrate freedom, fertility and even mark the passing of a loved one. These have mostly given way to the modern dances that we see in parties and festivals today, but all remain intangible art forms that bring joy and celebrate community. And among all its benefits, that may truly be the greatest gift dance bestows. So get in the dancing mood and allow the movements to bring joy to your life today. You won't regret it. We've come to the end of our program. Get a recap of all you saw here and more on our YouTube channel. Also, feel free to visit our website, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for news you can use. In the words of Math Graham, the body says what words cannot. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Audrey Williams. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.